Goat's Head, Part 2. So, a guy with grey misty blue eyes has befriended me. Fat T has inadvertently, shall we say, made me out to be some form of spokesman, on whom I do not know, as nobody seems to have been infiltrated, shall we say, as such. But what I suspect the hood knows is that the sirens are everywhere, and they're looking for a scapegoat, somebody to blame, to hold as ransom, future hostage for their freedom, their street freedom back, to kick up riots or aggravation of fuss. Hostage, street hostage, new form of modern day warfare. Anyway, Paulie has befriended me, misty grey blue eyes. So all of a sudden, it's January 2010. 209 has passed. Mother has passed away of malignant melanoma. She has gone to a better place, no doubt. So I've been on these hierarchical tables. The hood was all saying, "Who are you? We don't know you, you know." This was not really paranoid. They knew who I was. They knew through other people that I was, knew of people from the past. So where this information was coming, this fit-up, this setup as a goat's head, I suspect it was somewhere abroad. Some big front runners that are pulling the strings here. Putting me in a bad light. I was getting names, all these unusual names that seemed to clash with a very past, going back to the 90s. Names like Dopey, Gay, and other names that I don't wish to go into. Anyway, Paulie, grey blue eyes, has befriended me. Suddenly, it's January 2010, and a big boom of voice comes up to my window. "Jimmy!" I daren't go near the window, but that voice seemed to match the person whom I suspect has been rumbled, and I suspect his brother has been busted, as to whip up tension of all the cartel association. They probably haven't touched the big brother, should we say, probably the little brothers, just to rumble them. Because what they really want, I suspect, the sirens, that is, the singing of sirens, these demonic creatures of the wind that get into man, is to upset the whole apple cart of Mr. Big. There's only one man that controls the whole world here. He's under the devil's influence. That is... Well, anyway, so Paulie has befriended me. All of a sudden, there's a white van outside my window. I have a little peer, and I see it driving in the periphery of my eye. It matches up with the invisible man that has been pursuing me through a backstreet market in 209. I had a suspicion that this fat man, it's plump, large, was going to be rumbled, and he would come out looking for me. And then all his cartel association would all be rumbled, because one leads to the other, like a chain domino effect. Boom, 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 boom. The domino effect. So there I am. I'm up in my apartment. "Jimmy," this big booming voice comes up. So I know the hunt is on now. I have been used as a scapegoat, as a super spokesman. I'm gonna have every cartel member, every cop, every hood member, every person supporting cartels, which the majority do, as we know from the past with gang stars, let's not name any names, but in the 60s, so-and-so gang stars, they had a great following in the East End, shall we say. And other mobsters in the States have a great following of people, the common crowd, the vulgarian, the mass, the base. So I'm gonna have construction workers, mill workers, everyone, shop tellers, everyone, bank staff, all coming around me like bees around a honey pot, or flies around shit. Excuse the pun. Anyway, there I am. I'm up in my apartment. Beep, beep, Jimmy. So I realize the hunt is on. A few months back, Paulie and I go for a lime beer in a bar. A manager gets on the phone. I suspect the way he was darting his head over at us that he's probably an ex-cop. All of a sudden we get outside and there's a tall Anglo-Indian man of coffee color appearance, very tall, statuesque, 6'4" upright stance, with a balding hairline and a coffee color head and raven brown eyes, and cleanly shaven and smartly groomed in a suit, standing tall, just looking like that, menacingly, looking a bit like as if he's putting on a pensive act, like he's nervous, when Paulie and I have just casually just walked out of bar. You know, not unless this Paulie is some sort of Mr. Big Man, I don't know, some type of hitman or something, out to bump me off. Maybe that is why he befriended me. And we will come on to that later. There was a few close shaves where I've been up the back of a hood or an alleyway, and all of a sudden he's looked at me with these gray, blue, misty eyes, ready to, and Heavenly Father. Anyway, so all of a sudden this boop, 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 blowhorn of this transit white van. Suddenly, on the terrace street, the following week, there's a terrace, again, up another terrace, a white transit van. Two men peering out of me. The hunt is on. I'm hunted through the gardens. Boom, boom. You are the cure and the cause of my blues is playing in the back of this machine of menaces, white transit. This large plump man chases me into the park, runs into the park. I casually walk in. I walk up to a 50-yard pathway. He's darting his head everywhere, making me nervous. Now, coming back to when I'm with Paulie in the summer of 2009. Remember, this is 2010, the chase, the hunt. 2009, the setup. This is the sting. The goat's head's fit up. So I'm coming out of my house with Paulie, and I'm walking up the side road. All of a sudden, everyone, the fireman's looking on his blower. We get near a curb. There's the white transit van near a market again. It's underneath. Oh, that's my brother, Paulie says to me. He goes down into this estate. He pulls me down into this estate. I stand 20 yards back. He's asking, they're talking for half an hour. Prior to that, Paulie and I have come out this bar. A lion has been placed on my tarot, on the hanging man, the upright hanging man. It's a white lion. It's a marker. Come out the house. We go to a bar. Suddenly there's a tall Anglo-Indian man, like the Indian out of Tom Sawyer, although he didn't look, not like long hair, but he had that sort of frightening appearance, great big stature. Then all of a sudden, we get to the corner where the flower man is. Suddenly all these flashing blue lights, like coming in slow motion, driving in slow motion, red lights, blue lights, police cars just driving round in slow motion, just sporadically coming out of each corner. We get to a coffee shop on the corner, a well-known coffee shop, just going down toward the market. All of a sudden, more of these blue flashing lights coming out. There's some sort of setup going on here. And then Paulie and I descend, and suddenly his brother is waiting down in this estate. And then they're talking for half an hour. This brother surely is being hunted by all these sirens. And in 2010, one of the brothers perhaps was busted. I would suspect it wasn't the bigger brother, as a test to rumble them all. The hunt